Previously on Drinking with Comics.
Now, I'm doing a little bit of filming of you so we can insert it. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I am going to tell you, though, I'm also capturing Joe.Baxter's face on camera.
Oh my god, nobody's ever seen
So,
this.
so if you call me next week and you're like, you want to film another one, and I'm gone and you don't hear anything?
Why doesn't Joe.Baxter want people to see his face?
It has to do with Hydra. I suppose what you all want to hear about is the big tussle out there in Manhattan Beach. Tuesday is the day after we film. It's my day off. I start drinking about noon. You don't get to interfere with that. One thing I said to Joe.Baxter, I said, you're smarter than me, but what you don't understand, the DC Universe post New 52 it's not even like a real universe. It's like somebody dreamt about a universe, a half-assed comic book universe, and woke up and forgot most of it and got somebody to try and write it down. And it just drifted away. Like this circle. Yeah, there were days when we talked about doing something different. But then there was that day after filming. Joe tried to take my life.
All right, good show. Hey, can you get me the comic bug in Manhattan Beach pronto?
Hello, this is Drinking with Comics. I'm Joe. This is Mike. We've got a studio audience here. Our science officers, Sarah and Aaron, are here.
Science officers. Hello.
Hey! Joe.Baxter.
Yeah.
You might have thought that I was dead, but I wasn't. Or I'm not, as it were. All right, now that I'm back where I'm supposed to be.
Hello. Welcome back, Connor. How you doing, sir?
Good.
We're shaking.
So, welcome to Drinking with Comics. I'm Shawn. This is Mike. Well, you already know this because I was
Because Joe
usurped,
introduced me.
but that's fine.
Yeah.
So,
We have drinking, we have comics, we have people!
yes! Give it up for the live studio audience.
1,000 people. I don't know how much so many people fit in the comic bug today, but thanks for coming, guys.
I did fail in getting Alan Thicke to show up and sing the theme song.
We've been waiting for you.
Yeah, well, he wasn't waiting for us.
Where the moments are hers and hers.
I offered him
live
10.
to sing that
I
song.
offered him $10. I thought for sure, but you know what? Now that his son's famous,
think
he's like,
it's-
my son will buy my Subway sandwich.
Who's his son?
Ah,
We talked
that-
about we
yeah.
talked about this. See, every week is a refresher for you people, because I don't remember
When you
anything. You have to
drink-
remind us. So what are we drinking? What is this?
So tonight's beer is.
Wait, can I see that top? Because it said some stuff on there.
No, it just has a. Oh, it does. Look at
The
that.
whole thing.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So tonight's beer is from Stone Brewery, which is San Diego, I believe.
Yep.
And they're really big out here. We've got their Saison. I believe that's how you say it, although my friend. Saison.
I'd like the Stone Saison. With a little Grey Poupon.
Exactly. I actually left the mustard in the car. You want me to go get it?
No,
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 probably
good.
shouldn't do that. So anyway, I'm gonna have to throw that out. Probably won't be any good. Anyway,
Fine, as long as you didn't pop it.
so yeah, that's probably true.
Refrigerate after opening.
So a saison is it's basically like kind of a paler ale that's brewed with spices. They refer to them sometimes as farmhouse ales. Correction.
No.
Oh, I looked. Okay.
She's
Okay.
like, just drink that shit, dude.
So, yeah, that's right. I'm talking and not pouring.
Well, you know what else they say about it is that it's Stone Brewing makes an aggressive beer. Good
That
news
they
for those
do.
tired of the fizzy yellow stuff. I think, dude, we're on episode 7.
Yeah.
It is time for us to graduate
We
away
don't-
from the. Oh, we've had good beers.
We don't drink the fizzy yellow stuff.
No, that's true.
Oh.
Everybody, take a sip. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Anybody
Cheers.
have any beers of note they want to share with the people today? Come on up and let's talk.
I
about
see a
it.
brown paper bag. That's awesome.
That's all.
I don't even want to know what's in
That's
there.
Eddie
Just
the
keep
booze
drinking.
hound. What
Just
is
keep-
it? Water?
It's water.
You know what? If you're drinking water, yes, please keep it in a paper bag. A paper bag on the show. What do you got over there, young lady? Come on up here. Let's see what's doing.
Wait, yeah, go to the mic. Yeah, we can't
Okay.
do the focus pulling on that.
Focus pulling.
Yeah, as soon as I said that, I'm like, oh, he's gonna totally take
That's a
that.
porn joke.
Hi. I have Saint Archer, which
Oh.
I guess is a brewing company. It's a blonde ale based out of San Diego.
It looks like it's nearly empty.
Yeah.
We started like 2 minutes ago.
Well, I started like 45
She's
minutes
so
ago.
actually we
Well,
passed
y'all
her on
were
the
in makeup.
405.
And it's
She
not a
was,
12 ounce, it's like a 40.
Girl.
No,
I love it.
It's like a,
It's a 24.
I don't know.
I don't care. I
It's
love you.
a
I love
one-
it. It's great.
One
One
pint?
pint and 6 fluid ounces. So.
Awesome.
That
It's
means
good beer.
a
I just
royal
had that.
pint.
It's good.
Yeah,
And it's
so,
Saint Archer?
Saint Archer. And then I picked this up at the Ramirez Brothers like liquor store in Boyle Heights.
The Ramirez brothers.
Yeah, they're really cool. They're like 3 brothers, and they have this like independent liquor store
Oh.
in Boyle Heights on Olympic.
Where's Boyle Heights?
They don't have like a dog that talks like Satan says kill.
I wish. That'd
Okay,
be awesome.
just
I would
checking.
be there
Different
every
Ramirez
weekend.
apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The ones
But
that killed it.
Yeah.
no, they have, according to the sign out front, they have 1,300 beers. So
Wow. So did you drive out to Boyle Heights to get it, or do you live in Boyle
I
Heights?
live in Boyle Heights.
Okay, where is that?
That is in East LA.
Okay, so kind of far.
So it's right outside of downtown.
How'd you wind up here tonight?
I used to work with Shawn
Oh, okay, cool.
And Joe.
and
And
Joe
Joe Dot.
and a bunch of people here.
Oh,
So
awesome. Well-
I was invited on Facebook.
Oh, cool. Well,
That's
cheers.
just
Thanks for
what
coming
Facebook
out.
tells me.
We'll make it worth the drive, I promise.
Please do.
How are we doing so far?
Science Officer Sarah, what did you say before? You said something I missed. Whatever you said.
I don't think I did. I
Oh,
think you're
okay.
hearing
I may.
things.
Yeah, you're having a lot of
Yeah.
delusions
Well,
or
the-
illusions or
yeah.
something today. That's okay. It's gonna make for a great episode. Mississippi Mud, dude. I love this stuff. I think it's like $4 for a jug of that thing.
$2.99.
$2.99. Trader Joe's, yeah.
Joe here.
And it's good. I mean, it's heavy. You know, one of them gets you started.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
good.
Nice.
Joe Dot, you're doing the same thing we're doing, right? Anybody else got anything going? Eric, what?
Eric's
Mirror
got the
Pond?
mirror pond.
I got Mirror Pond. Did we have this before?
Yeah, we had one of the other one. I forget which one we had. Red Chair. That's good. That one is really good on tap. It's good in a bottle.
It's good.
It's really good on tap.
Cool.
There's something doesn't quite translate for me from tap to bottle,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, it's still good. It's fantastic.
I'm
But
not throwing it away.
no, hell no.
Put it down in the gizzard, buddy. Fat Tire, a can of Fat Tire,
Yeah,
which
oh,
I
it's-
didn't know they made cans of
good.
Fat Tire. Is it,
Yeah.
Courtesy of Shawn.
Yeah.
why a can? Because I mean, isn't
Well,
it?
we
what's
went
the
to
science of that?
We went to a place that I don't like to let the word out very much about this place, but we went to Sinespia a couple weeks ago,
Oh yeah,
and if you don't know what that is,
like a movie place.
and you don't live in LA, you can listen to this. If you live in LA and you don't know what it is, plug your ears because we don't want anyone else going. But it's a Hollywood Forever Cemetery. They show movies from about Memorial Day to about Labor Day. Every Saturday night they project them on a mausoleum. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good time.
But so what I learned early on going there is that it's just better to have cans. It's easier. You don't need a bottle opener. Blah blah blah. So we went and I brought some Fat Tire and it's really good in a can. You know, the thing with beer in a can. I mean I know it's like throwback and people are like, oh yeah, it's retro or whatever, like cassettes. A lot of beer like Newcastle, it's not good in a bottle half the time because light gets in.
yeah, I
and it
read an
ruins
article.
it.
I think you wrote an article about that. Or somebody wrote an article.
If you get Newcastle in a can, it's always good. It's always tasty.
I didn't know they made Newcastle in the can.
They do, but now it kind of got widespread for like about 6 months, and now it's like if you go up to Silver Lake, you might find it, but then you're gonna have to fight off.
You have to buy it from a guy with a funny mustache.
Yeah.
Hey.
Fuck those assholes.
Oh, cool. Anybody else got anything going on out there that we haven't heard of yet? I see a bottle of Coke in a 6-pack of Mission Street.
That's just a random 6-pack. Although there is a Mission Street in there. I think shortly after, I think you had Mission Street
Yeah,
2 ago, and I picked up some Mission Street, so there's one of those remaining, and then there's some Sierra Nevada because I always have Sierra Nevada in the
If
fridge.
you look really closely through that camera, you can see a dude on the other end watching us on Facebook in his trousers, and he's got a bottle of tequila.
I don't want to look into that camera.
I'm sorry I did too, but anyway, it's kind of wild. Hi, Facebook.
But whoever that is, just go ahead and send us a message without a picture. That'd be fine, or no video for sure.
There we go.
We will be postponing our chat roulette account.
Oh,
so
is that still around?
I don't know. I've never been.
I
on it.
wanted to do that.
No, you didn't.
So did.
Trust me, you didn't.
Have you done it?
No. I mean, it ended up, from what I heard, it was exactly what I thought it would be when I heard of it. So it's going to be like a bunch of dudes, like, yeah.
Oh, just
Yeah,
jerking off.
yeah,
You can say jerking off on here. It's
Yeah, we
drinking
can.
with comics.
We can.
So, okay, go ahead.
But so, okay, so that's our beer, that's our audience. So, issue 7, we'll do the mail call first.
You have mail.
You have mail. So, I
do we
wanted
got?
to, just real quick, there were a couple, I got a couple messages on my personal Facebook
Uh-oh.
I wanted to address, and I know we had briefly talked about this. So one of them was from Tom Hicks in Ohio, and he had asked me about tracking down, like, basically, where do I go to track down, like, say there's, this crossover that's, not only is there, the core books, but there's the stuff that's kind of peripheral that comes under the banner head. He had asked specifically, I think, about World War Hulk and Hulk After Smash, both of which I know what they are, but I've never read them. I kind of, Hulk, it's Peter David's run is holy, and then I kind of don't care about the rest. I was on
Planet Hulk was good.
I never read it. I was on Bruce
Planet Hulk was
Jones's run. The
Yeah,
Return of
I
the
love his
Monster.
run.
Dude, I loved it until the last. As soon as I got the Marvel Knights banner on it, it suffered, and then the last issue, I felt like
I don't know if I made it to
it
the
was
end.
so disappointing. And so I'm just like, no. So now there's only Peter David's Hulk, and there's
Let me
nobody
give you a
else.
trick, dude. Don't read comics to the end. Like if it's
No, that doesn't make any
Sandman.
sense.
Oh, it's so much. But you just make up your own ending.
That doesn't make
Imagine
any
if you'd
sense.
never watched the last episode of Lost. How much better that show would have been.
No, it
it's like
would've
fuck.
been.
I just missed the last one. I
No,
wonder
it
how
would
it
not have,
ended.
it so would not have
Say
been.
that about
Because,
The Sopranos, too.
Huh? Sopranos?
I'm sorry.
Well, I like that though. 'Cause
I like the
that
last.
you-
I like the way Sopranos ended.
I do like the way
no
that
other way to
ended.
end that series.
But some people don't, and I get that. But no, like there are certain books I've read, and it's like, man, this is so good. Then you watch or you read the last issue, and it's, I would say 9 times out of 10 a letdown. I'm gonna stop reading the last issues.
I don't buy that at all. I mean,
Okay. Just a theory.
if it works for you, that's good. But like
Yeah.
Preacher, great all the way through the end. Sandman, great all the. Sandman, I think, is better at the end.
Maybe Bruce didn't have a plan, and he just had to wrap it up or something. you know?
Well, I definitely don't think it was entirely his fault. I really think when the Marvel Knights thing launched and it was just awful, it's like, this is our mature thing, but we're not going to,
Be mature.
have any swearing or violence in it, but it's still mature. It really suffered. And then the Ang Lee flick came out, and I felt like there was just, I felt that editorial kind of crunch on the book, and the last issue was just like, is this... I mean, it didn't even feel like... It felt like they had clonked Bruce over the head like Joe did to me yesterday.
Yeah. He's like, I'm doing the show.
And then,
That worked out.
Basically said, found some other guy named Bruce and brought him in and were like, here, write the Hulk, the last issue. And he was like, I don't know what the Hulk is. I'm like, that's fine.
Like in inner alter ego id.
Yeah, it didn't...
Maybe he hulked out when he wrote the last one. He's like, oh, fuck this. Bruce smashed this series,
Because it was really good for a long time.
I
and then it
did
just-
buy them all. I have
it
to go read that
sucked.
last issue
The ending
now, I
just
guess,
sucked, man.
That's too bad. It was good. For those of you who have not read, and I realize we're not answering this
No,
man's
we're
question
not.
at
But
all.
we'll get there.
First off, we just say read better comics than World War Hulk, because that shit sucked worse than anything.
I thought you just said it was good.
Planet Hulk was good.
Oh, gotcha,
Planet
gotcha.
Hulk.
Okay.
So what they did was they jettisoned in Planet Hulk, they jettisoned the Hulk off Earth so they
To a
could have the
planet.
Civil War. 'Cause
Right.
and whoever the Hulk sides up with is going to win the Civil War. He's on this planet, falls in love, he becomes a gladiator, an intergalactic gladiator. He even fights Silver Surfer at some point. It's awesome.
Well,
And then he comes back and he's mad that they sent him away.
Oh,
And they
yes.
had this big crossover, which was the follow-up to Civil War. Civil War was great. We could talk about that.
Civil
sometime
War, I will go with you on the don't read the end of Civil War, because I thought
Oh,
the
yeah.
ending of it was, I was like, you're serious.
The end of Civil War, though, was Captain America 25. The Civil War ended, and then the next week Cap 25 came out, and that was the true ending when Cap gets iced on the steps of a courthouse.
Fantastic.
But he comes back to Earth, and he's mad, and he's going to fight her, and it was just lame. So just don't read it. It's best policy.
Well,
I think he had a legitimate question. How do you track these things down?
So basically, like I always use Comic Vine. I think is fantastic, and they've got a huge database, and they show you, if you type that in, it shows you every issue, every like cross-reference, every the core titles, the peripheral titles is really good for getting like a handle on what do I need. Because even with trades, it's like you guys have the shelves. They're very orderly, but you're still, I think, depending on how the company is branding the book, it's like, so this is, Planet Hulk or whatever, but then maybe there's, She-Hulk, who we'll get to later.
Yeah. David Goyer, stick around.
And so maybe that's in like a different section or whatever, but nice. But so Comic Vine, and then there's Marvel. I guess it's Wikia.
Marvel Wikia, probably.
Where it's like Marvel.wikia.com, I think, and that's even better. However, it's only for Marvel, but really, like, that is fantastic. They go issue by issue. They tell you every character, everybody involved in making it. They show you how it ties in with other storylines and this and that. Fantastic. Now, I just found out DC has one, too. I don't know how good it is. And, as you know, I have a kind of a prejudice at this point in time where it's like, I just don't really care about it.
You don't care what they do.
Not at all.
Well, and also, like, if you want to go analog,
Analog's good?
Yeah. Probably, I'm willing to bet, if you pick up World War Hulk #1, in the back of that issue, I guarantee they're like, this is how you can spend all your money this month. And here's a checklist of 50 books that are going to tie into this thing.
But now, would that be in the trades? Because obviously...
It won't be in the trades.
See, so we're years... So you'd be combing a back issue, but...
But you probably get it for like a quarter, you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
And there's a website I want to plug that I love. I'm not a big fan of crossovers, and I don't look down on them, certainly. But like with Civil War, you don't have to read anything outside of the Civil War and Captain America 25.
Well, you should probably read the first 24 issues of the Captain America.
Well, probably, yeah. That's.
I mean, that's how I read it.
And then you went into Civil War, and it's true that. Comic book database, though. So if there's a writer that sort of lights you on fire, like Mark Millar or Brian Michael Bendis or David Lapham or whatever, it's like, man, Street Bullets is great. So you go on comic book database, and it's comicbookdb.com. You type in his name, and you can actually click on. It's almost like a IMDb, but for comics. And same thing for character. You can type in a character's name, an artist, a writer, whatever. Pull up their entire profile, and then you can click a thing that says list it chronologically. And yeah, I mean, I've discovered so many cool books I didn't know existed. I was really got excited about that Prophet comic that Image was putting out based on the old Rob Liefeld character.
Right, which is like the surrealist.
They did this crazy, like, stoner, surreal sci-fi thing that looked like the Prometheus trailer, but not the Prometheus movie. And I discovered Simon Roy through there and some of the really cool stuff he did.
Is that the guy that does Prophet?
He was an artist on Prophet.
Okay.
Yeah, and so anyway, Comic Book Database is a fantastic resource.
All right.
And I always use it because I can't always remember
stuff
stuff either. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Yes, Science Officer Sarah.
Just to note, the Comic Book Database does require registration, but it's free.
Oh, no, I'm not registered. If you want to look at porn, Miss Science Officer Sarah, that's just to prove your age. What are you trying to look up over there?
I'm assuming that it would be She-Hulk porn, right?
But the only thing I don't like
about She-Hulk, everything that comes up would be porn.
Because she's a slut, according to David Goyer. See, you can just look up stuff, right? Yeah, I don't like the pop-up ads. There's pop-up ads on there.
Log in, username and password, register for free, but the search button does seem to work.
Yeah. And if you want to look up, like, Housewives from Hell or something like that, you will be required to log in. Trust me, because I've had to log in a few times.
Is that a comic?
I think maybe it's called Horny Housewives. I can't remember what it's
called.
And
that's a comic?
Dude, there's comics for every walk of life.
You know, one of the most disturbing things that ever happened to me was somebody in the 90s talked me into buying, I think it's Tim Vigil's Faust. I bought 2 issues of that.
Wow. I went the whole 12. Dude.
Couldn't do it. I saw they just reprinted it. It was...
yeah.
Man,
yeah. Anybody read Faust out in the audience?
Wow.
He's like a Wolverine that uses his claws to chop people's dicks off. And you see that, and like, thank God it's not in 3D, because stuff comes... Like, Tim Vigil, he's a great guy, by the way.
I mean, the art is amazing,
yeah,
but the places it goes, like demon rape, not interesting.
If Tim Vigil would stop drawing dicks, he would be so successful. Like, seriously, like, he is up there, he's And like this was at a time in the '90s, like Todd McFarlane and all that stuff, and he was he had his anatomy down, obviously. But yeah, he just can't help himself.
Yeah, it's.
And I love the guy; he's great. But his mind is rooted in a very, they say like Clive Barker and Neil Gaiman is so dark. No, Tim Vigil.
No.
I would not want to be locked in a jail cell with that man overnight.
Wow.
True.
So Tim Vigil.
But he's not a misogynist pig like David Goyer.
Yeah, apparently.
He's got that going for him.
Before we get to this, there's a. So then on Twitter.
Can we hashtag David Goyer so he sees this? Please?
Yes, we can.
Cool.
On Twitter, we were asked by the Futurian Leo Lorenzana.
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
Any thoughts on the new Star Wars movies, or thoughts on this lame Disney Star Wars character mashup shit sold at D-Land? I don't know anything about Disneyland. We do have an expert on Disneyland here. Science Officer Aaron is an expert on Disneyland. So the movies. Here's my thing with the movies. I grew up with Star Wars. I don't think it's amazing cinema. I think at the time, yeah, it was, but. I saw all three of the ones in the early 2000s. I thought they were fine. I saw them multiple times. I took my dad because he took me when I was a kid. I had a great time. The first one is stupid, but they get progressively darker. I was happy. I would never own them. I don't give a shit about ever seeing them again. And I feel the same way. Yeah, I want to see the Boba Fett spinoff. I want to see Episode 7. I'll see them once. I'll forget them. It's fine. It's Star Wars. That's where I stand on it.
You ever watch the Clone Wars cartoon?
No.
It is so good.
I don't like animation. Isn't that weird?
It is a little weird being a guy who likes comics.
I
but
don't like
that's okay.
animation.
Well, check it out and just pretend it's live action because like you did with the prequel trilogy. But no, there's.
That was good.
I mean that show, and I've only seen the first 2 seasons, but it's so good. There's like a 3-episode arc where they find this essentially Godzilla on some planet, and they bring it back to Coruscant to do like experiments on it. And it breaks loose from the lab, and it's a fucking Godzilla movie in Star Wars. It's amazing. It's really good. So that said, I feel like Lucas was probably a little hands off with the Clone Wars series, and I think that whatever your gripes with Star Wars are, it's an amazing universe.
Yeah,
and I
is.
think
It
there's
totally
so
is.
much potential to tell so many different kinds of stories. I don't love J.J. Abrams, but I did enjoy Star Trek Into Darkness or whatever, and I just remain hopeful. And if it's not as good as the original trilogy, then oh well.
I mean,
I'm always down for some more Star Wars.
It's not gonna be, but it is an amazing universe. I think there's tons of stories that could be told. I get why Lucas never did anything after those other 3 because he's like, God, I'm older, no disrespect, and I don't want to commit to this. So it just made what?
You're like, no disrespect. You pointed to somebody.
No, I just pointed. I pointed to Lucas,
To
and he's
Joe.
watching. Hey, it seems like just what? There's so many stories that could be told. Like I was happy when he sold it to Disney because it's like let them do it.
let
The minute
some
they
fresh
bought
blood
it,
get in there, yeah.
the minute I heard that, I remember we got off an airplane coming home from I think it was Chicago, and I got your phone's off, so you get all the tech. They catch up,
Right.
And my friend Brown, I get these texts like Disney just bought Star Wars, blah blah, and the first thing I thought is like we're gonna have like. Within the next 5 years, there'll be at least 5 movies. Fine, there's so many
there's
fans.
like solo adventures and stuff.
There's so many fans, and they've been relegated to like nothing against the novels or whatever. But it's like when you love a movie that much, and every other movie franchise in existence is getting TV shows and movie spin-offs and this and that, and you're like, but Star Wars is enormous, and can I have more? No, it just seems ridiculous. So have at make a Sarlacc pit movie. I'd go see that. It's just like the camera. It should be like Jim Jarmusch. And it's just the camera on the Sarlacc pit for like 2.5 hours. And then like occasionally...
You are artsy, dude.
Bill
You're
Murray's
very artsy.
voiceover is like, the Sarlacc pit has not eaten today. Will it eat tomorrow?
Sounds like a fan film.
That's
I watched
what-
20 minutes of that. You should
I'll
make
watch
it.
the whole thing.
All right.
I will. If it's Jarmusch.
You can loop it at that point. Like this.
He
film
might.
20
I mean,
minutes
Jim
and-
Jarmusch, take it, man. If
Yeah.
you want to do that, I don't need credit. Loop that shit.
I lost
10
a
minutes and
friend
loop it.
over Disney buying Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah, no. See, I remember how I heard the news. Was I was in line checking out at Target, and I'm a grown man with responsibilities and a kid and a mortgage and this shit. And I have a buddy, I won't say his name. Hopefully he doesn't watch this far into the episode. But he texted me and he's like, so Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney for $4 billion. you're still going to stick up for him. And I don't remember really sticking up for Lucas a lot in my life. I don't feel like he needs me to stick up for him. But I was like, sure, yeah, why not? And I love John Carter. My reply was, well, I like John Carter, and this is right after Avengers came out, too. And I think Avengers was great, and those are both Disney movies. So, yeah, sure, why not? And then he wrote me back, and he's like, it's sad. And then another text,
Wow.
So I went home, and I had a few beers. I started thinking about it, and this guy's like 5 years younger than me. I'm 40. And he lives with his mom. And me and alcohol and Facebook and telephones or any way of communicating with people after I've had a few drinks is not usually a good thing. So I called him and was like, you motherfucker. I'm sad because I don't give a shit about George Lucas selling Star. You live with your mom, dude.
Yeah,
how dare you? So
it's a
anyway.
little sad going the other way around, but
so I know he'll be there seeing the movies.
well, I mean, that's the thing.
Probably take his mom.
They can rail against it, but
Cheers.
But now you can buy Darth Vader helmets with mouse ears.
I heard about
That's
I could
kinda
get
messed
real
up.
into it, but since it's not drinking with Disneyland, I won't because I
Well,
could
so-
go on forever.
Okay, so
the other part of his question.
Leo's, his, the mashup shit. So that's what he's talking about. Then I wasn't even aware that existed. I mean, it's just basic whoring, right? I mean, that's what it sounds like.
I heard they're making a Princess Leia man's vibrator with honey buns on the side.
Oh, Lord.
I know that was in English.
Sorry, David
and
Goyer, I'm up there with you, dude.
I understood most of those words, but I can't put that together in my mind. And
You
I
know
think
her
that's
hair,
probably
the
a
honey
pretty-
buns, like wouldn't it make a?
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay,
Yes.
I didn't. I'm
My only
picturing.
complaint
Man, we lost an audience member.
they
Fuck this.
they made Carrie Fisher lose 35 pounds to
Are you
be
really?
in the movie, and to be
Oh,
in
for the new one.
movie coming out, and it's like, okay, why? Like in the universe of Star Wars, people aren't supposed to get older and get heavier.
Well, the funny.
Where did you hear this? Is this true?
It was true. It was.
Wait.
Carrie Fisher said it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure she did. Yeah.
Wait. Whoa. What? Joe.Baxter, what did you just say? I'm still mad at you, but for trying to
Well,
kill
they
me.
said
But that's fine.
they could have used CGI to make her slim down anyways.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
It just
Well, they wanted her.
seems-
I'm not gonna say.
it does
They wanted her to be
weird.
smaller than Jabba when she was wearing the slave Leia outfit.
Well, they're not gonna put her into slave gear, are they?
I don't think she's
that would be
overweight,
kind
though.
of weird.
It would be awesome though. If you're gonna do it, go full tilt and get slave Leia back.
But no, I mean that's
Why not?
It just seems weird.
If you're gonna bring them back, bring them back.
She's pretty round.
Say what now?
If you saw her on Big Bang Theory, she was like.
Oh, she's
her
like
height
70.
and her width were approximately the same.
Woman.
Yeah, she's an
Right,
older woman.
I just don't see why that's necessary.
Does she want to
Yeah,
be
it
in
seems
Star
weird.
Wars or not? And tell her to stop complaining.
No fatties in Star Wars.
Well, like, are they
When
gonna
they're
make
the first
Harrison
big
Ford
ones.
articulate?
Probably not.
You know what? Harrison
Probably
Ford.
not.
I know somebody that worked on. I can't remember if it was Indiana Jones, but Harrison Ford stays in his trailer and smokes weed all day. And when you watch Crystal Skull, you can see.
Well, I will say, I never noticed it about Harrison Ford because I don't see many of the movies he's in. But I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman's Hollywood Babylon. And when I first started listening to it, Ralph does an amazing Harrison Ford impression that I didn't get at first. And then when I actually heard him speak, I was like, oh, because he doesn't enunciate at all. It's just like this bizarre, like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so Leo, thank you for the question.
Don't go to Disneyland, Leo, and don't watch Star Wars.
And don't beat Shelley with the soap.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's a Twin Peaks reference.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Um,
Ooh, digging deep.
So, do we have any other mail that I did not address? Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, there is one thing that's going to kind of pinion into a feature, but you have any announcements for the store?
Well, speaking of Star Wars,
Uh-oh.
I do have an announcement. I haven't even told you about this, but thank you for bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do a Star Wars Epic Day in August, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I do have some major talent that works on the Star Wars comics lined up to appear here. Some of it
Nice.
from far out of town. We also have, our two
Starlight
units reaching out to some of the movie talent.
Okay.
Well, one of the movie talent is a comic book fan. Basically, Dark Horse is going to be ending its Star Wars run. Oh, look, I have
Really?
I have two Star Wars. Well, not by their choice. Think about it. Star Wars is now owned by Disney. Disney owns Marvel.
Oh,
So
I never even
the
thought
license
of that before.
came up, and Dark Horse is really going out on a high note. They've been making Star Wars comics since 1992 or 93.
Long time, right?
Yeah, about 23, 24 years. We're gonna have Barbara Kiesel here, who is
Wait, has it been that long since 1992?
something like that. 92.
Shit. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, like 20 some years. Barbara Kiesel, who brought Star Wars to Dark Horse originally, is gonna. Oh, thank you, dude.
You're welcome. I need it
The
now.
force
but
is strong with you. She's gonna be here, and we have some of the talent that's working on the current projects. They're gonna be here, and it's gonna be a celebration. It's gonna be great. So
Awesome, man.
yeah,
Very cool.
and here's a little collector's tip to you guys out there, because when Dark Horse loses the rights to Star Wars, they're gonna also lose the reprint rights. So unless Marvel chooses to reprint some
all
of
the
those,
Dark Horse stuff, it's gonna be
or any of it, or some of it,
It's gonna be gone.
whatever they don't reprint is going to be out of print. And there's a lot of really cool Star Wars stuff. So Star Wars Legacy, I guarantee Marvel won't be touching.
wow, no kidding.
I bet
Well,
they
okay,
won't.
I mean, they're basically jettisoning all
They want to
peripheral-
focus on what they're doing new, and so collectors.
So buy them up, basically.
So
buy 'em
watch
up.
this episode 1 year from now and see what those books go for on Amazon. And
And you'll be like, if I had just listened to those two drunk assholes, I would be
if I'd
able.
only watched 20 minutes into the
Yeah.
episode, I would be rich.
Well,
So.
what are you gonna do?
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, so I want to do we do this kind of thing where it's like the book that you read last week. Now I'm a week behind in my weekly readings.
So it's going to take a week to edit, so you're 2 weeks behind.
Okay, so but the current book that give me a current book that's come out within the last week or two that's just blowing you up.
MPH. Right. Oh, there you. Oh, look, it happened to be right there.
Okay, so this is a new Mark Millar, and it's Duncan Fagotto, who is the artist on. He works with Mignola, right?
Oh, Fagrito, you're right. He did do a Hellboy arc.
Okay.
Yeah. Mignola. These guys, these
okay.
comic guys have such hard names to pronounce.
No,
sometimes.
we're just drunk. But I liked it. You know, we've talked about Millar here before. I'm always a little bit skeptical about him. I think that he does good work. I mean, he's done some amazing stuff in the past. He can be a little mean, and a little
in
like
comics or in
oh
life.
yeah, oh dude, in comics. I mean, the Kick-Ass movie is way better than the Kick-Ass comic. Because the Kick-Ass comic it's just mean.
It's brutal. Right?
It's mean. Yeah. There's stuff where it's like, dude, really? Like, and there's some other. We've talked about it before. I don't want to get into it, but so this is basically deals with a drug called MPH that gives you super speed, and it's good. I mean, it's not much more than that. I mean, there's a good setup. It's like guys in prison because he used it, and then he gets it again, and first issue, it's all set up. That's basically it. We're going to see where it goes. Millar, he's like long short form where it's if he's doing 6 or 8 issues, you're not going to really get the gist of it until probably the second or third issue. So, I mean, it was a good setup. I definitely really liked it.
So it's like the Flash meets Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, kind of. It was interesting because I read this Friday, and we had just seen X-Men: Days of Future Past, and
great movie, by the way.
I liked it. I thought that the Evan Peters as Quicksilver was the highlight to me, and the scene in the kitchen. You'll read like I had read going into it. I try not to read too much, but I had seen that it was like, oh, this is the best scene. It's the best scene in the movie. Fantastic,
It is, yeah.
and it's set to a song that I hate. That Time in a Bottle song from the 70s.
Spoiler alert.
That's not...
Whatever.
Oh yeah, somebody's like, well, God damn it! Now that I know the song and the scene, I'm not going to see the movie.
Yeah, you're right. Let's all go see it.
But yeah, it's good. It's worth seeing. My thing with the movie is I'm not so much interested in the individual movies as I am how they're going to build this arc with the movies. And so, you get the stinger, or I kind of like this term I heard recently, the credit cookie scene.
Oh, the thing at the end.
Where, it sets something up, and I really think where they're going is going to be very, very interesting. And, again, like, I don't think the movies will be amazing. They'll be good, but I'm just really curious to see how they do this kind of overall arc. So it was good, but it was just interesting because we go see the movie. I come home, I'm like, oh, I haven't read this yet, and then I read it and I was like, oh, that's kind of.
What was better, that scene or
the scene?
MPH? Yeah.
The scene was fantastic. I mean,
and I missed Wolverine's butt apparently in the movie, so I guess I have to.
It's
go
the
see
talk
it
of the town, man.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I don't know how the hell I missed it. I mean, man-ass. But I really liked X-Men, and like I went into First Class with low expectations. I went into this with measured expectations, and both times I was like, man, those are great movies.
I went into I wouldn't have even seen First Class if not for Sarah, who was like, oh, I want to see it, and I was blown away. I'm like, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And I liked the first three, but I was kind of done. I'm like, okay.
Well, that third one was.
See, here's the thing. The third one, I hate Scott and I hate Xavier. And they killed both of them.
You mean you love them? Or
No, I fucking hate those characters, dude. The X-Men.
So you're happy that they killed them?
Yes. So here, we got to do this now because I've been teasing this for a while. So
I thought that was a drunk moment. You're like, I hate Scott and I hate Xavier, and they killed them both. Well, but you like it, so it's like two wrongs making a right. Okay.
I like the fact that they killed them. Yes.
All right, got you. Okay.
I wanted to, because I've mentioned this before and I keep not going into it. There is a website. I'm probably not going to pronounce it right because as constant viewers know I don't pronounce anything right. Sequart, SEQUART.com, and they have, among other things, they have a really good Chris Claremont documentary.
I watched that.
It's about $5.99. You buy it, you download it, totally worth it. And that's my X-Men. Like, I grew up with that shit. When I came into it, it was the late '80s. There was no Scott, there was no Xavier, there was not really Magneto. I like that X-Men a lot. And I like that the way Chris Claremont wrote the X-Men, it was like life. People came, and then they left, or people died. And
it was evolution.
They were gone. And there was evolution. It was always moving forward. And then it was just really good to hear him talk about it, and some of the editorial staff and the artist Louise Simonson. And,
dude, Ann Nessetti's in it. I had such a crush on Ann Nessetti by the end of that thing.
Yeah, she was awesome.
I want to try to get her here for a signing.
She wrote some wicked.
In her mind, she got a job at Marvel thinking it was going to be like a
boys'
porn thing. No, she thought she was going to be writing for porn because it was like a vague ad about they were looking for a writer, and they wouldn't tell her over the phone. She had to go into an interview. That's what I got from the Chris Claremont documentary.
Interesting.
No, I shouldn't. Anyway, sorry. Sorry, David Goyer. I'm still a better man than you.
Oh. Wow.
Dan Slott was the one who did that to She-Hulk.
Oh, Dan Slott defended her, right?
No,
what do you mean?
His 2004.
Oh, come up here, Daniel.
Yeah.
His 2004-2005 comic opens with her basically sleeping with every man around.
Oh.
Because for her, it was her empowerment as a frail young girl into a hulking woman. She never liked coming out of her She-Hulk form because it was less than her. So her sleeping around with every other male Avenger was kind of her way of empowerment.
Wow.
Dude, you need to go to court with David Goyer.
Yeah.
And say, well, this is why you say you obviously read this issue or the first. It's like, wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So she is a slut.
Yeah, so the guy who's writing Amazing Spider-Man right now basically set that up.
Wow. It's all Dan Slott's fault. It's always Dan Slott's fault. I still want to blame David Goyer because it's more fun. It gives more hits.
I just want to point out that they're passing the bottle of water in the brown paper bag around in the audience. So, just saying. It's good to see that people are staying hydrated.
I was sitting out in the corner when I walked up. Whoa. With a bottle of vodka? Is that vodka?
Just went there.
Wow. Drinking with comics, awesome. All right, turbocharged. You don't have to lie and tell me it's water. It's fine. I still love it.
Nice.
Oh, that red stuff? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I've had. Oh, wow! It's not even in a water bottle.
We're a little bit classier than that.
You know, you girls are going straight to my heart.
Nice.
It's all good. If I didn't have the show to do, I'd be right there with you.
Well, okay, so I just wanted to tip the hat to that Claremont documentary because I thought it was really good, and really, it's interesting that obviously, circa I think it was 1990 or 91 when they launched the second X-Men title.
Jim Lee.
And Jim Lee came into the picture, and what I didn't realize, and they talk about in the documentary, is that Claremont was starting to get kickback from people because they wanted to bring back Scott and Jean. They wanted to bring back Xavier.
They wanted to make Magneto bad again.
Yeah, they wanted to make it status quo the way that it had been and make these very recognizable kind of like archetypes, and that's exactly what Claremont didn't do. I didn't realize that Jim Lee was kind of like hot young artist, but still young. I mean, he didn't have a lot of clout other than he was an artist a lot of people liked, and he's a great artist, but he started saying things like, I don't think we should do this, and Marvel was listening to him and not Claremont, and that makes me not really like Jim Lee very much, because it's like, I mean, granted, life's a lesson, right? So I'm sure now he'd be like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or maybe he'd be like, fuck you, I should have done it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you live and you learn. I'm sure he thought he had the best ideas at the time, but I don't know, man. I always felt like Claremont, it was kind of torn away from him, and they really talk in the documentary about how this guy, like, he came into it when there were
nobody cared,
no sales on the book, these characters were jokes, and as it grew under him, and they started to want to spin off, and we're going to do this title and this limited series, and he wrote them all, and he stretched himself to the utmost, because he's like, this is my corner of the Marvel Universe. I care about this. I don't want to trust this to other people.
Yeah, he didn't want to do spin-offs. He created New Mutants sort of as a way to appease.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then he did we're going to do a Wolverine limited series. I'll do this. They mentioned a couple limited series.
And they did the first crossover, which was the Mutant Massacre, which happened organically, not like it.
Well, because it wasn't really a crossover like we know them now. It was like these events happen, and you see part of it in this book, part of it in this book, part of it in this book. Same thing with Fall of the Mutants. And then Daniel and I were just talking about this earlier. I never liked crossovers, and the reason why is I read a few past this, but Inferno was the first to me crossover as you know it now, and it's the best. I mean, it's fantastic start to finish. It's amazing. And then they did, I think, like Extinction Agenda, and
there was
what was the one with Strife?
That was Extinction Agenda.
Or what was the one with Genosha?
We can't say this after 2 years. That was Extinction
Agenda.
No, there was All right, so there was Mutant Massacre, then there was Fall of the Mutants, then there was Inferno, and then I stopped caring.
Well, yeah. So I read out of inertia for a couple years.
Yeah,
and they were just not good. I mean,
they had diminishing returns.
It always goes, you know, you go up to the 11th hour, everything's a shamble. There's no way we're gonna win. But if I use my power with yours now, then we win. And status quo.
The first crossover was like 7 issues, then it turned into 12.
Oh,
it's like 58.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like how can we?
Suddenly, you got people writing you like, how do I read World War Hulk?
Yeah, right. Well, but you know, I mean.
Valid question.
Well, the thing with Inferno, though, too, is all the peripheral stuff, some of which was Ann Nocenti's Daredevil.
I love her.
All of the peripheral stuff is fucking fantastic. Whereas, you know, everything after that, it's like, how can we shoehorn Spider-Man's book into this crossover? Well, you know, on page 13, you know, Cyclops walks into a room and burps or whatever. You know?
Did you read her Daredevil run, by the way?
I've read most of it. It's fantastic. From the 80s.
I'm going to put this in my plea to Ann Nocenti to be my wife, all right? Her Daredevil...
You may have to clear that with your wife.
Oh, maybe all 3 of us can live together. I don't know. She's... like, Ann is like in her late 50s, and I think she's still single, so it's cool. But her Daredevil run was so good. And in the Inferno part of the Daredevil run... Good. In chapter 1, he gets his ass kicked and he winds up in a ditch.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And he doesn't come out of the ditch until 6 months later when...
Human Torch is flying around.
Human Torch is the lead character in Daredevil for 6 months.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, read that if you ever get a chance.
There was that weird thing with the vacuum. It was just such a good...
I'm not shallow. I like her for her mind, too.
So good.
So there. Fuck you, David Goyer.
Okay, so now we're going to go into the David Goyer thing because we've referenced it so many times. I didn't know about this until just today when we walked in.
Can we do a hashtag fuck you, David Goyer for the show?
Tweeting it right now.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're bringing the heat, Dave. So, you know, I don't know. I guess step up. I don't know.
Write your shitty movie. Hashtag.
So.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So what happened with David Goyer?
He
broke
me.
up.
Hey, you too?
Oh!
Is that on YouTube too?
Oh!
No, he raped you too?
Oh!
Yeah, and he called me She-Hulk the whole time.
Oh!
So take this, She-Hulk, you dirty slut. No, he told me to squeal like a pig, Southern Baptist.
Called you Mike? Oh, wow. Joe, I'm still mad at you for trying to kill me and take over the show.
No, David Goyer.
But I'm starting to see that, you know, maybe
there's a reason.
Maybe there's a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I was wearing when we filmed with Laramie, the one where I accidentally revealed Joe, you know, his visage to everybody. Visage, yeah, I said
it's a good visage.
It is.
Yeah.
But, he was trying to stay incognito. And when I did that, I was actually, I showed him later, he noticed I was wearing a David Goyer shirt, where it's like his name, but written like Metallica.
You had a David, did they even make a fucking David Goyer shirt?
I made it. I sewed it together.
Like those Fassbender ones and those like ones that Mondo or somebody makes, it's like all...
I don't know.
Were you wearing a David Goyer shirt?
No,
really?
I'm just... X-nay on the...
Mess with me like that, because I don't know any better.
No, but he knows that I'm on Goyer's street team, and I walk around and tell, so that's probably
Let's
why.
talk about Goyer.
Okay, so let's talk about him.
So he was on, and science officers fill me in here, he was on some panel or on some podcast, or he was not on this show. I'd love to have him on.
Was he like on YouTube, like on his camera on his phone?
I think you can
just,
actually
late
listen
at
to
night,
the
like,
thing.
She-Hulk's a slut.
He said that She-Hulk
That'd
was
be
a
amazing,
slut
actually.
created by a virgin comic writer, Stan Lee's pimp, by the way, and he created She-Hulk. And for somebody for the Hulk to fuck.
Giant green porn star.
A giant green porn star. Okay. And then what else did he say? He said worse things than that. I know.
And that her real name was Slut Hulk. And
Harina. Oh, that's.
Yeah.
That's like that's like that dude that shot everybody in Santa Barbara. # David Goyer.
No,
She's a slut hole.
that's actually nothing like that.
It is. Like he sees women as objects. What? And what's sad is this guy makes millions of dollars writing shitty screenplays. Which is worse than that.
He wrote Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy.
Yeah, no, I know. I love Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, and I think they
even the third one.
The third one is the only one that I mean, I like all of them, but the third one's the best one. Yes, I'm sorry. Sorry. You know what?
I think, can we do polls on
I'm
the
sorry.
Comics website?
Yes, we can.
We can, and you're all going to tell me I'm wrong.
I love that you're an individual.
It's totally fine.
I love that you stand by. I like Lone Ranger.
The cinematic experience I had. I didn't see it. I can't comment.
You were on
cinematic.
shrooms.
No, I was not. But the cinematic experience I had with number 3 was fantastic. And here's the thing: like, he made a Batman movie without using Batman for most of the movie, and it was fantastic because he elevated it from. It's not a superhero movie. It's not a comic book movie. It is a movie. And
but it's a Batman movie.
I think Batman was in the. I guess Dark Knight Rises.
Everybody,
Dark Knight Rises above being in the movie.
Everybody is going to say. Everybody's going to say that the Heath Ledger one is the best, and you know what? It's great.
It is the best of the 3.
My ranking, that's like my least favorite, and I still love it. It's still fantastic. But you know what? I mean, that was nominated for an Oscar.
What was?
The Heath Ledger one.
Oh yeah, I think it won.
Because he died. There was no other reason. How can that be nominated in the third one?
If David Goyer had died after the third one, we wouldn't be having this conversation now.
That's true. Maybe we should go back in time and use David Goyer's DNA to create giant robots to come forward in time and sit here and have a beer with us.
Oh, I'd love it.
Then they could be like, more beer. Give me the water.
But let's not get away from the point that he called She-Hulk a slut. Now, She-Hulk is a very successful female Marvel superhero. She's a lawyer. She's smart. I mean, despite the Hulk gene, she's smart. She's she never says She-Hulk smash.
Well, but I mean, I haven't read Hulk since, a long time. So
look at her, dude. She's not even half naked.
Is Hulk? It's
a great book.
Looks like 1977. Yes.
Yeah, I love 1977.
Yeah, I guess Stan Lee commented on it.
And
he said he was actually he created She-Hulk because he was looking for a new female superhero, and he wanted her to be like an intelligent type of Hulk. So.
By the way, I love the way Stan Lee creates female superheroes. But here's what he does: he goes to his library. He's like, Hulk, She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's about it.
Spider-Man. Spider-Woman. it's like if you think about it, and Stan Lee's not responsible, but there's a Batgirl, there's a Batwoman. They're like, it's like African American characters. Like, well, let's just put black in front of it. Black Vulcan, Black Lightning, Black Falcon. No, Falcon actually doesn't have black in front of it, does it? Black Panther. Yeah.
Well, but
what about just the Panther?
Oh, there is there a White Panther?
There's a White Tiger.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
But he's Mexican.
Okay.
Which makes me angry as a white man.
And now our podcast is.
So wait, I need to understand.
#racism.
What was David like? Why did somebody say, David Goyer? What are your thoughts on She-Hulk? Like, I don't understand how this even.
Nobody
came up.
even fucking asked him. He just.
They're like, can you tell us anything about Batman, Superman? And he's like, yeah, I can tell you, She-Hulk's a slut.
I think so.
I mean, is that like DC's tactic? They're like, we're really worried because this movie's gonna suck, so just talk
All
about
signs point to
She-Hulk.
suck, dude. Yeah.
The picture.
Well, the context was he was at a panel and they were talking about Justice League, and then they were talking about other comic movies, and they were talking about maybe the Hulk is a reboot, and then they were talking about other possibilities, and this came up, and
he
one
dismissed
thing led
it,
to
basically.
another, and he made a classic mistake that Hollywood types tend to do, which was he spoke.
So what was the context of the Mel Gibson sugar tits? Thing?
Let's not even
That's not a
go
comic
there.
related thing.
Oh.
But I'm sure. I mean, it's just as good or bad as.
Well, he
this.
was also factually wrong. I mean, he was saying that 95% of comics are strictly by men, for men, whatever, and I really disagree with that.
I agree with what you said, and that's that's what really bugs me about him, and that's why I like to hashtag him all night long, because
wait, that's not an innuendo or a euphemism, right? That's
I want to make him squeal like a hashtag, all right?
Okay,
whatever that means. No, but it all right, here's a guy who's making so much money off the backs of comics. It shows such a complete disdain for the industry.
That's a good
it's
point.
Like, fuck
because
you, David Goyer.
That does.
Hashtag fuck you, David Goyer.
I mean, when you guys first started talking about
what's
this,
really cool about hashtags is like you can put a hashtag on and they see it. I did that with Harry Knowles, and he saw something because he did a Kickstarter and raised a bunch of money and bought a new car. I was like, fuck that bastard, and hashtagged it, and he's like, well, I'm a really nice guy. He wrote back.
Wow.
So it's good, the power of the hashtag. Dude.
Every time I hear hashtag, I want hash browns. That's all it does for me. I'm always like, ooh, breakfast. So can you hashtag hash brown?
Sure.
Is that what you just said?
Hashtag pound sign.
No, I know that. Or you're saying okay. You're splitting the infinity gem.
Yes.
And when you guys were first talking about this, I was like, he insulted a fictional character. Who cares? But now, like, okay, I mean,
she embodies, strong female characters in comics.
Okay, I get it. Well,
like
okay.
Ann Nessetti or Nesenti or whatever. I love her. She's gonna change her last name to Wellman so I could say her last name.
Oh well.
Hashtag Ann Nesenti.
Okay, so David Goyer is a good segue into. I want to bring this up. Sarah had done some research over the weekend, and I thought this was really interesting. Right now it's 4 movies, correct?
4 out of the top 15 movies at the box office this weekend were comic-based.
Comic-based.
So what do we got? We got X-Men.
Mm-hmm. You have Godzilla, which he
Has
and
comics.
I got into.
Well, because I was like, it's a movie. It was a movie first, and it wasn't. It was a comic book and a movie simultaneously, right?
Yeah, 1954 in Japan. It was released concurrently as a movie and a.
There was a comic of Godzilla in Japan in 1954. Awesome.
Yep.
That's good to know.
And the other 2 movies were The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Is that still in the top 10?
Top 15.
Okay, that's still pretty good. That's a great movie. It deserves to be.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. I mean, it definitely,
And what's the top grossing movie of all time? Avengers, right?
I believe that still does hold the record.
Or is it Avatar?
No, I think Avengers blew past Avatar, actually. Yeah.
But
when
nothing's
you're
gonna
taking
blow
into
harder than
production.
Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, that's gonna. I will say, I did the picture of the bat suit. It was a cool picture, but
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
It's fine.
Once you put it in motion,
Once you put a script on it.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting, and it's interesting in that comic culture is so culture now. So one of the things I find myself, I don't want to tread too much into spoiler territory for the X-Men movie, but let's just put it this way. Obviously, they've recast Magneto and Charles Xavier, and it's very successfully. Like I hate both characters, and I love them in the movies because I love Fassbender and McAvoy is awesome, and I like the way they've done their characters. And I read an interview with the screenwriter. I forget his name right now, but he basically said, "This is our goodbye to that original."
They're gone after this?
Well, that timeline that involves Scott and Jean and all that. So you're sticking with the '73 timeline, now.
Okay.
I mean, they'll probably jump it a few years, but who knows? But they've got their new core, which is McAvoy and Fassbender. Great. They're eventually going to have to recast or get rid of the most famous and commercially successful X-Men character, Wolverine.
That's why they had the ass shot in this movie.
Maybe.
Yeah, they're like, we got to get that ass in there before we get him out.
Yeah, right. But so how do you do it? And I really think it's interesting. In 2014, you hear so many people that 10 years ago, probably even 5 years ago, talk about these movies in ways with the vernacular that we've known all our lives as comic book fans, and it's popular culture. People know this stuff now, and it's at first it was like, oh wow, like it's not just me and my nerd friends talking about it. And I'm curious if at some point, because obviously they're going to get into alternate timelines because of the stinger at the end of Futures Past. I really feel like we're going towards a kind of Age of Apocalypse thing that's going to happen in the movies within.
Perhaps.
I think not the next movie, the movie after. And
I don't think it's the next movie actually. It's called Apocalypse.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to be Age of Apocalypse.
Age of okay. Gotcha.
But I'm curious to see what's going to happen where if they, this is. You heard it here first. If you're not a nerd, you won't know this. The Marvel Universe, they've played with so many different dimensions and whatnot. Their core Marvel Universe dimension is 616. Alan Moore named it. I don't know why he named it. I feel like there's a specific reason he named it 616.
Area code in London
Probably.
or something.
Hey, 616, that's fine.
Daniel, do you know that? Why they call it the 616?
There's two possible myths that they go over. One is that it was just a random number that he liked. Another was that it's a reinterpretation of 666.
I knew it had to have something to do with that with Alan Moore.
Wikipedia says either one.
Okay. All right. Well, so anyway, it'll be interesting if they get into this where they start, this is this universe, this is this parallel universe, and then you start to have people walking out of theaters in 5 years that are like, like the lawyer or the cheerleader or whatever. Like, I really like the 616 movies better than, these 626
So they're going to start coding them. I want to go to the 1-900 universe.
Yeah,
Thank you. Said that.
Thank you. I couldn't think of a more poignant thing to say.
Numerology.
Oh my God.
Hashtag?
Yes.
Just right before we end, I'd like to announce that starting June 10th, we will be offering hand-etched glass pint glasses, of course, hand done by an artist in Dayton, Ohio named Allie Troubadour.
Go Buckeyes.
We will be working out the details of how you can purchase them, but they will have the Drinking with Comics logo on them.
Do I get a free one for being on the show?
You will.
Awesome. Can I put beer in it?
You can.
Awesome. Cool.
If you put beer in a pint glass, I will be amazed.
I have a little news.
Okay.
Before we go, so I was at Aspen Comics today, and I talked to.
No, wait. You told me you couldn't say this before.
No,
so
I'm going to talk about this part.
Okay, so this isn't
I'm
the
not
alcohol.
drunk.
You're not like, I'm going to go ahead.
I'm
whatever.
going to go to
I'm writing the new David Goyer script.
No, I talked to Vince Hernandez, and we're going to be doing an event here either the last week of July or the first week of August. Working it out. And Vince is going to be here, and Sia, the creator of Lola XOXO, is going to be here, and they have agreed to do an episode of Drinking on Comics with us.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
bro.
you saved that shit for last. I didn't know that.
I got secrets from everybody.
All right.
Including you. But I just told you my secret.
Okay.
It was like the most fantastic day of my life today.
I don't have a secret to tell you. Sometimes I dress like Dazzler and put on roller skates. Is that a secret?
Can you do that on the show?
No, I can't do that on the show.
Hopefully there's like some credits from guys, thanks for coming out.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, live audience.
Hopefully, was it worth the drive?
Yes.
Ah, you're drunk.
It's a form of meditation, is what I told him in the end. Contemplating the exact moment in Metropolis that you allow somebody as stupid as Doomsday to take your life. And then we forgot the credits, so there you go.
And we have stingers too, brothers and sisters.
So
Don't ask what we were doing. We're down there stinging. Like us on Facebook.
Yes. Oh God.
Like
man.
us on Twitter.
So
like us on Instagram.
Subscribe.
This
subscribe.
motherfucker is drunk.
No, I'm not. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Can you say that again, please?
No, I can't. I sounded creepy.
Cheers. No, you just couldn't
Like,
say subscribe. That's all.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook.
Every number makes our egos a little bigger.
Yes.
Leave us a voicemail, right?
Oh, please leave us and MODOK.
Voicemail where?
MODOK, if you're out there.
Voicemail can be left for us at area code 424-271-5610.
Hashtag David Goyer.
MODOK, if you're out there, the last four digits of your number did not come through last time.
sluts.
That could be a spinoff.